What's going on there, people? We got ourselves another Resident Evil movie, but this one's different. Capcom worked hand in hand with the director on this one. I'm here, it's harkening back to the first two Resident Evil games, which is what I'm really excited to hear. I don't know how you guys are feeling. Let's see what's going on.
We've been waiting for this a long time.
Every story has a beginning.
Best opening trailer lines.
Discover the origin of evil.
Yes.
Best opening trailer lines.
Dialogue.
Here. Your conspiracies weren't true when we were kids. They're not true now.
We need to expose Umbrella. Watch this.
I'm afraid, Claire. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do to this town. You see, Umbrella, they had an incident. I'm talking to you all, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
People are getting sick.
Raccoon police.
You gotta help us, Claire. Let the world know what's really going on.
There are a lot of images that are harkening back. Damn, even the cop.
A lot of characters too, yeah.
Wow.
Actual game
We
characters.
have to contain this.
Yeah, you do.
Shall we go?
Is he Leon?
He's Leon, yeah. Chris Claire Leon.
Wesker.
Love that actor. Yo, they're working on the nostalgia.
This is where they're experimenting on him.
Oh, that's the dude from Umbrella Academy.
Split up.
As they take on Umbrella Corporation. The mansion.
The Barclay Hills. It's the classic. It's the classic.
Come on. Yo, so many nostalgic moments in here.
We gotta get out of here. We're gonna take Umbrella down.
Wow.
Oh, biocreation. Liquor.
You're not supposed to scream. You know the rules.
That's a very vocal bunch.
Very vocal bunch right there.
Not bad.
I think it looks like a major step up from what we got before.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it actually cares to resemble the games it's based on.
I played Resident Evil 1 and 2 ages ago. Barely remember it. But one thing I've always wanted to see be brought to life is them getting involved with the actual mansion. I think I heard this not long, might have been actually this morning. I heard is that they actually used the blueprints from the Resident Evil mansion from the first game when working with Capcom in order to make sure when they recreate the mansion to bring it to life. So it looks like with their budget, they were able to put it in some places, like with some of the zombie effects, also with some of the creatures, and then of course the production design. But then some of the CGI looks a little bit kind of like the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you gonna do?
I feel like this movie is in an odd position for that because, yeah, especially with some of the early on dialogue, I'm like, okay, some of this does look kind of cheesy in the way like the early Resident Evil game cutscenes were sort of cheesy, where it's like a little bit hammy in the acting and stuff like that. But I am excited for, yeah, them actually embracing the sort of survival horror spirit, not going full on like crazy sci-fi action with it, because that's part of the games. But the earlier ones up until, you know, you get to like part 6 are more about suspense and the elements and the conditions. And yeah, just like seeing the inside of the mansion, it got me nostalgic because, yeah, you can kind of tell that that TLC is there and it feels like Raccoon City. It feels like the Barclay Mountains and stuff like that. And yeah, you've got, you know, the dogs and the liquors, that classic white zombie turning around while he's eating.
That's a classic shot.
Yeah,
that's
that's the classic
That
shot,
is the
yeah.
shot of Resident Evil.
Yeah, and that's been remade in the remakes of the games and stuff like that. So yeah, as somebody who like had fun with Paul W.S. Anderson's movies but has been craving the actual faithful take, I hope this is good. I still feel like it could wind up being kind of cheesy, but it looks like it is trying
Kind of.
very
This
cheesy.
is already cheesy.
But it looks like it's at least gonna deliver on the kind of cheese that's appropriate for Resident Evil.
Yeah, it looks like an entertaining horror action movie,
Yeah.
which is a genre that I don't think the Resident Evil movies prior set out to achieve, which was actually the horror angle to it. They never seemed to really care to be a horror movie. Maybe the first one sort of. I ultimately fell off the franchise. I didn't catch like the last two, I think. I'm liking more of like the gritty look to it. You could feel some of like the filmmaking inspirations. Tonally, this is just the first trailer, so we don't know tonally exactly what it's gonna be like. Now, there are parts of it where I could see that he might take some like Romero influences in here in terms of the tone. It looks like they're actually trying to make the zombies genuinely scary. It looks like they're actually going to try to scare you and make this intense versus cheesy, pulpy sci-fi action, which is something I just wasn't a fan of. And then here it's like, yeah, could the acting be a little bit better? Maybe, but it also could be trailer dialogue. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm a lot more forgiving when it comes to trailers than the actual movie-going experience. Looks like they're combining the first two.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. Because there's enough, that's something I'm curious about, because there's enough story in both of those games to fill a movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, especially having had a franchise that has included game characters and aspects before, I guess I could see why they would want to maybe do both, and then you also get a city, suburb sort of setting, as well as your far removed mountain mansion, you know, haunted gothic vibe as well. And then you've got, you know, stars and the Umbrella Corp and all that. I get why they would want to incorporate both, because especially when you're trapped in the police station, there's a different, more action-y vibe, I think, too, that comes out of that with Resident Evil 2.
Well, that's what I mean is I could also see there being perhaps some John Carpenter vibes being thrown into here too. Why I'm being a little bit more like optimistic towards this is because the intent feels very much on display here. At least get the impression whoever's behind this one, sorry for not knowing, but just
guided 47 meters down.
Awesome. At least the impression that I'm getting from the trailer alone is that whoever that guy is, he actually likes the game or cares to honor the game and visually represent it in more ways than one. It has that impression of a guy going back to the early games that he played instead of trying to do like the later ones. And you know, I kind of feel like I should just give it a chance. We'll see. You know, this is very Claire focused, not so much Chris or Leon. Claire looks like she's really the main character of this.
Yeah.
And is that? I think that's Robbie. Is that Robbie Amell?
That is Robbie Amell. Chris Redfield.
Robbie Amell.
Yeah, dude. Well, and maybe they're gonna bring in some Code Veronica stuff with that too, because that's the game where
real thing was the Code Veronica reference, right?
Yeah, and that game you follow Claire for a whole lot of it before like switching to Chris.
All right.
And your boy's playing Albert Wesker, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
remember the character names too well. I remember just the main names. But guys, what'd you think about this trailer? Are you in the camp that is for it or against it? Leave your thoughts down below. Why don't you subscribe and click that bell and hit that like button. Hey, let's do a
Daniel Gallagher, you're our only hope, because if there's one thing that Resident Evil games, and I assume this movie, are going to be very notorious for, it's being resourceful with your resources. And what do you need? You need health packs, man. You need medicine because you're getting bites, you're getting cuts, you're getting nicks. We need those green herbs, my friend, or the red herbs. You mix them together, which I'm sure you could do because you are an apothecist. You are somebody who works with the healing chemicals of life, and if there's anyone you need on your team in a zombie apocalypse, it's a medic, it's a health person, so you're the Barry. Actually, I don't think that's what Barry did for the team in Resident Evil 1, but either way, you know, he's got kind of a Scottish look, so it works. Either way, hope you're doing well, buddy, and stay healthy out there. Much love.
restart.